Hello, young or old here, and welcome to my channel. Now today I want to talk about something none of us want to consider, and that is falling off or dropping our bike. Stay tuned and watch the intro. Right, so let's face the hard facts, and they are, the chances are we will drop them at some point. Even if we're not hurt, the crunching sound of your pride and joy hitting the ground will send shivers up your spine. So let's break this down. We can fall off or be knocked off by anyone else on the road. So let's look at being knocked off or an accident caused by another road user. Now, I was knocked off a car by pulling out in front of me from a junction, and I went over his bonnet. I was badly bruised but not injured. I was back at work a couple of hours later. Sadly, my bike didn't survive. The driver, however, did admit fault. At the time of this accident, I was actually undergoing advanced bike training. So when I was back on the road, my instructor asked me, what could I have done to prevent it? My reply was, well, nothing, it was his fault, he admitted it. My instructor went on to explain that there were actions I maybe could have took that might have helped. He mentioned that the car may have not have seen me. Now, I was riding towards him in position 2. And basically by moving into position 3 would have made me more visible, and the fact that me changing position would also attract the driver's attention. I could have also sounded my horn to let him know I was approaching. If my hazard perception skills had have been better, I probably should have slowed down, thus giving me more time to react or brake. The conversation we had did make me think that applying what he said could have made the difference between having the accident or not. It also made me realise it's a pity I didn't have this lesson a few weeks earlier, like before the accident. So riders, we have to take some responsibility for our own safety. We have to be better than the average road user. We need to use our hazard perception skills to the max, so when we see a hazard we can react to it accordingly. And always remember, if we react in time to the said hazard, the hazard should not become a danger. So now let's look at incidents that are our fault. Now, bends are notorious. I'm not going to go into too much detail as I've done a video on this before, so please check that out. But let's just say, slow it in and faster out, as if we go in too hot on a bend, we may not have enough time to react should some hazard be around the bend. Always remember, less miles in means more smiles out. A common reason for dropping the bike is when you come into a halt with your front brake and the bars are either turning to the left or the right. Now, doing this can cause the front of the bike to either dip to the left or to the right, making the bike very unstable. The same can be said with moving off with the bars in this position. So stopping and moving off will be safer if the bars are straighter. Also, when moving off, i.e. from a minor road to a major road, position your head. It's very important. Look to where you want the position to be, or our position to be in the road, and then use the throttle and clutch to make sure we can control the speed to get into that position. I've seen many times when turning left riders overshooting the white lines, so the rider is on the wrong side of the road. Also, when turning right, I've seen bikes hit the opposite curb as they've moved off too quickly to control the bike, preventing it from where it was intended to be. Now, although not strictly our fault, road surfaces, potholes, now they can make the bike a bit unstable should you fail to notice and hit it. But be more careful if we've had a lot of rain, as the pothole will be full of water, and then we have no idea how deep it is. On country lanes out while enjoying the twisters, be aware that heavy rain may run onto the road from the field. Now this can leave a slippery slurry, and you just don't really want to run into it. Metal manhole covers are normally situated in position 2. Yeah, just where we're riding. But this is done so cars and lorries don't run their tyres over them, causing them to sink over time. But when they are wet, they are slippery. And if you notice one ahead, we just need to adjust our position slightly to miss it. We tend to find that a lot of trainees do this last minute swerve to miss them. But to be honest, this is actually worse than just riding over them. A few of you now will be able to relate to this scenario. A lot of bike drops happen when the engine isn't even running. Now I remember going to Huggies, and then I realised I'd left something at home, so I rushed back. I was in a rush, I pulled into the drive, and I planned just to run in and get what I needed and straight back out. Well, that was the plan. But the reality was I didn't engage the side stand properly, so as I dismounted the bike, it went over and landed on top of me. I had a couple of bruises, but my body prevented the bike being damaged on the gravel driveway. I've witnessed a rider slip in a service station on spilt diesel while he was dismounting his bike. He was getting off, the side stand wasn't down, so he slipped, ended up on the floor with the bike on top of him. There are various types of protection bars and bungs that will protect your bike from a drop. Even if you scratch the bars, they either have a matte black or a gloss black finish, and they're easily repainted. They will save you expensive costs of any of the plastic fairing that could be damaged. It's easy for the bike to get written off purely down to damaged fairing panels. A mate dropped one of my Blackbirds a few years ago, and I managed to respray it to an okay finish, but the CBR 1100 XX graphite I needed for the side were £80 a pair. Needless to say, I didn't bother. I actually managed to fix a crack in the nose cone fairing as well. It's a good job. As new, that was £1,000. Now, a high-speed collision can be fatal whatever mode of transport we're in, but we all know the dangers of that. I mean, does anybody jump off a cliff with a wingsuit because it's a safe method of transport? We must be aware of the dangers of whatever we do in life. Are bikes more dangerous than cars? Well, we all know the answer to that one. We have no protective cage around us, no impact bars, airbags or seat belts, but by using our skills and experience, we can minimise the risks involved. Always expect the unexpected. So, to all of us who ride, just take care out there and be careful. If you enjoyed this content, please do the ticks to like and subscribe. And as always, take care, ride safe, and bye for now.